This show is presented by the 323 Network. You can watch all your favorite 323 friends and shows on the 323 Network YouTube channel, follow us on all social media platforms at 323read, and support us as we continue to grow at patreon.com/323read. That's 323REID. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 323. I am your host, Reid Murphy, and we are back. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Thank you for giving us all that you do, giving us all the support that we love and crave and need here in this dutiful, contentious time in the world. You got safety and security with us, and I say us, I mean me and Mr. B himself, your comfort food of choice for the evening, folks. Travis Byram. Hello, buddy. How are you doing? How you holding up?
Hey, Reid. I'm doing well, man. I like that description of me. It's like you're calling me a snack, and I like that.
You are a snack. You're a snack, or like a good. I think with the comfort food, you're a sick day snack. Like you're the ultimate snack.
Wow, I'm chicken noodle soup. I like that.
Chicken noodle soup for the soul. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Folks, we got a lot going on. Of course, it's a sports show, but we need the vacation. We need the break. We'll get into, we skipped all the other sports. The NFL will be back next week, and you'll have the usual degenerates to talk about all free agency stuff. But for right now, folks, we have to hit our other passion, our other love that we go to every year, the Oscars, film. Oh, it's over. Award season is over. We trudged through. But damn it, we're going to talk about more, and we're going to give the people more, Travis. Like, the award season isn't over until the 323's personal top 5 film awards have been unveiled, and we are giving that to you tonight. Of course, we'll be recapping the 97th Academy Awards, and we're going to give you a sneak peek. Not too much of a spoiler warning yet. We're not going to unveil the whole script here, but we're going to give you a little bit of a preview of the 98th Academy Awards, the 2026 Oscars. We'll be telling you what to look out for this year. But, Travis, I want to start with this past Sunday's big show. It was the biggest night in film, the biggest night in Hollywood. It's a party, a huge party. Such a big party, it brought on an earthquake during the after party. It was a lot of insanity and I don't know if it was an actual earthquake or if it was just people losing their shit because Elton John jumped on stage to perform Pink Pony Club with Chappell Rowan. There's a lot going on.
Oh my God.
That's just the after show. We're gonna stick to the main show though. And I want to get your overall thoughts on the big show. We have, of course, folks, if you're watching on the 323 Network, and if you're not, get online and look at our beautiful faces. Not just our beautiful faces, you can see our ticker on the bottom screen, the ticker giving you all the awards and everything. It was a big night. Big night for Anora. Anora took home 5 of its 6 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress for lead star, breakout star Mikey Madison. Shout out to her. Of course, you had the other in the big acting categories, Adrien Brody winning his 2nd Oscar, this time for The Brutalist, which is what some people called his speech. I'll give myself the horns. Yeah. Earned that. But yeah, so I had, of course, Kieran Culkin and Zoe Saldana. They were the huge favorites for Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress. But there was a lot more that went on throughout the show. It was overall, I thought, a clean show. Pretty clean, pretty fun show for the most part. I love, for the East Coast folks, 7 p.m. It's crucial. It's crucial. I heard Conan complaining at the start of the show like it's lunchtime. People just came back from lunch here. You know, West Coasters, you get everything else. You're not getting this one. We need this. We need 7 o'clock, man. When it's 8 o'clock, that show's damn near ending around 11:30 midnight. When it's starting at 7 o'clock, it's damn near ending if they wanted to, it could have gone to 11:30, but they got it done at 10:45 this year. Unless you were on Hulu, and it ended promptly at 10:30.
Get him.
A lot of rough stuff that was going on. Yes, Hulu was doing the live stream for the show, and it still amazes me that these streamers cannot put on a live event. Some of them cannot put on a live event. Hulu, for the first hour, people were having problems even accessing the show and missed the whole first hour of the show. And then once it hit 10:32, which is what Hulu had the Oscars running till, 10:32 hit, boom, that thing's over. Adrien Brody put you over with the longest speech in the history of the Oscars.
Son of a bitch.
I know, he got him. But outside of that, I thought our boy, Conan, our idol, he did great. I think he did exactly what you needed, not holding on too long to a bit, which is, he's the king of that from his shows. And, moved swiftly, got in some great one-liners, and would quickly get it to the nominee. People complain about putting the music on, different people as they're giving their speeches. They have a whole press conference that they do after. They'll get every thought out. It's okay. They'll, we got to keep this show moving, man. It's a lot of awards, and we don't want to go back to the thing where they try to give out awards earlier in the night. That's bullshit.
God,
get that out of
what
here.
A disaster.
And I think, and I'll transition it to you here. I think that in a night of really cool performances, the James Bond tribute was interesting. I've heard people praising the whole thing. I will go on the limb and say that Doja Cat cringed me out. I know what she was going for. I know what she was going for, the voice that she was going for, but I wasn't feeling it. But I did love Ray, and who was the other person? Lisa or Liza, who performed with it.
Yeah, didn't know her.
And our Substance Girl, Margaret Qualley, opening the whole performance with that dance. That was very cool. And even the In Memoriam performance, I saw people complaining about it with Requiem playing in the background. They were saying, why would you put that on there? Yeah, they were like, why would you put that on there? Because I know it's been used in other things for like comedic purposes or for like horror. But man, it's like it's a haunting melody. It's a true classic. I got no problems. I got no beefs. And then Queen Latifah performing from, a song from The Wiz in honor of Quincy Jones was, I would say, good, almost forgettable. It would have been forgettable if it wasn't for Coleman Domingo putting on a great supporting performance, being front and center, like the Taylor Swift of the Oscars. You have to have Coleman Domingo there every year now. Whether he's nominated or not, have him right there in the front row. He gets everybody dancing. But performance of the night, Travis, I'm not gonna lie, man. That opening performance by Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, performing, songs from both The Wizard of Oz, The Wiz, and of course Defying Gravity, and just nailing every part of that performance. I'll let you debate it if you need to. I think it's the greatest award show performance of all time. I'll put it up there. I'll put it up there with Ricky Martin's debut on the Grammys years back. I'll put it up there with Swagger Like Us from the Grammys.
Yeah.
That was one of the most incredible performances I have ever seen. Ariana shocked the hell out of me how good she performed Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I know she's a beautiful singer, but man, that was incredible. I was locked in. And Cynthia, the note's coming. We know the note's coming. Ariana clears out of the way. She goes off to the side. We know that target aisle note is about to hit. And she just nails it with absolute confidence. No speed bumps, nothing. It was incredible. It was a huge start to the night for me.
Man. Yeah. Oh, totally agree. That's a whole nother podcast, I think. Top 10 award show moments. God, I think what Doechii did at the Grammys, you got to put that up there. Holy moly.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah. I kept wondering this whole month leading up to it, I kept wondering how they were going to stage, Defying Gravity, which of course has Ariana a little bit. And then she kind of she trails off and then it's Cynthia's thing, but I thought they did it very gracefully. Yeah, man, when you got a pop star nominated and you got, I think, the sixth biggest movie nominated, I did not mind missing those Amelia Perez songs. And we got a bonus Amelia Perez song. Amelia. Oh, God. We got that for free. So I did not miss any of the performances this year. I think it was truly, not to flex, took me like 6 months, but I assembled every single song that was nominated for Best Original Song in the Oscars history. I listened to all of them. This has to be the weakest year, Reid. I mean, the songs were not it. So I think, hell yeah, get Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo to get some Wicked up in here. And yeah, it almost brought tears to my eyes. Even my folks watching with me who weren't necessarily the biggest of Wicked fans were just kind of dumbfounded.
It was a beautiful, beautiful way to start the show, a huge intro. And you're right, I didn't miss the original songs this year. And it's a bummer after how, stacked original song was last year, just from Barbie alone, right? Like you didn't even get Dance the Night in there. That was one of the songs of the year last year, and that couldn't even get nominated because it was just such a bop of a year. Next year I think will be better. We're 100% going to see Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo performing again,
absolutely
one of those original songs. But what were your big takeaways from the show as a whole?
Yeah, I of course am going to be a little biased. Excuse me. I have loved Conan O'Brien since 2009. My aunt and I would watch him in the lazy summer days, just binge his shows on TBS. And I just always loved how he could take the piss out of himself. And his style of comedy is never mean. He's never going at someone. He's in on the joke. And if he does go a little hard, then he'll usually take it out on himself. I thought he was great. I thought they played to his strengths, which is the monologue. Like the talk show monologue. That's what his Oscars monologue felt like to me. They got him in a song as well. He's no singer, but I think he played on that. Yeah, they just absolutely played to his strengths. The Carla Sofia Gascon joke, one of the funniest jokes
that was rough
I have ever heard in the Oscars. That is ballsy. And, she took it. I thought he was killer. If anything didn't land, it didn't register with me. Sounds like The Room was having a ball with it too. I'm just realizing this now. Reid, he didn't do any crowd bits.
Oh,
that's
right.
why I loved it so much.
Yeah.
He did the pre-recorded bits, which Conan's always been good with remotes. But he didn't do that awkward crowd stuff. My mind goes to when, I'm forgetting his name, but when a comedian hosted the Critics' Choice Awards when Cate Blanchett was up for Tar, and he wanted to do a bit with her, and she was so uncomfortable, she actually crawled underneath her seat.
Yeah. It's not what you want.
If Cate Blanchett isn't playing ball with you, don't keep digging. Those are so uncomfortable. Everyone there is nervous as fuck.
Right.
Everyone there wants to win an Oscar. Everyone is having one of the biggest moments of their life. They don't want to play your little games.
No.
And I thought Conan did a great job with that. I loved the Dune worm bit on the piano.
Bringing it back for the harp was fantastic.
I mean, he's so good with the callbacks. I see we've got one of the best bits up here on the screen. I just thought he killed it. Don't want to shit on Jimmy Kimmel too much, but I think he is serviceable. Yeah. I think Conan is, he was my number one pick. And when I found out, I just felt like a kid on Christmas morning.
I agree with you that Kimmel is Kimmel's safe. Kimmel can moderate the thing and get it through. But I think last year he was just tired. He was tired of it and stuff, so he was ready to go. I'd love to see Conan do it again. We'll get into that a little later, but I'd love to see Conan do it again. I thought he did fantastic. He didn't disappoint me at all. It was a fun time with him. It was a fun time with him, and I'm glad he was able to do it. I'm glad dude has been through it the last couple months, losing both of his parents within a few days of each other. Yes. And then having his home evacuated due to the fires. They said he's been living in a hotel for the last month to prep for this show. So I'm sure he was happy as hell to get it over with, just like some of the nominees said. And we're talking about nominees. We had winners. We had all these winners and stuff. So I want to go over with you who you believe was the biggest winner from the night. And this could be a person. This could be a studio. This could be anything. Who's the biggest winner? Who's the biggest loser from the 97th Oscars?
Yes, sir. So, biggest winner, I think even more than Anora. The biggest winner of the night. How could you say anything else than 4-time Oscar winner, Sean Baker? And there's been a lot of stats thrown around what he did. What he officially did was he became the most Oscar-awarded individual for a single film. I think back in 1950, 1960 something, Walt Disney himself got 4 Oscars from multiple films that were winning. But from editing, producing, writing, and directing this thing, every single one of his credits, he was rewarded. I was so happy to see that. If anyone is listening to this and you're on Twitter, you're seeing all the shitstorm that has erupted since Anora won, and all of the inevitable backlash that always comes with a new Best Picture winner being crowned. Look at Tangerine. Look at The Florida Project, and my personal favorite, Red Rocket, which should have swept the Oscars that year. Oh my God, he is one of the best working. He's so inclusive of depicting sex workers. His first movie, Tangerine, was about black and brown sex workers, transgender women who were working the streets, turning tricks. And I love him for his dedication to that. And he is on Letterboxd. So when you go on Letterboxd, you can see the receipts. This guy fucking loves movies. I was looking today in the middle of his Oscar campaign in November. He's watching 20, 30 movies. He's putting up more numbers than me, a guy who just puts mail in boxes. So I was so happy to see him sweep all of his stuff. Other winners, I'm Still Here. The Brazilians I know were going crazy for I'm Still Here. And it worked. I think the Emilia Perez train just came to a dead halt, as we discussed earlier, and absolutely the best movie won there. That is a win for the ages for that category. And my last biggest winner is Latvia, scooping up their first Academy Award for Flow, which I just watched yesterday. Wonderful little film. Precious, adorable, no dialogue, and they've already got a statue of the cat in Latvia. They've already got the Golden Globe they won in a museum, and they're going to have to expand that because now they got an Oscar as well.
That was a big win. That was a huge upset. That was a huge upset there, and I was very happy for it. I was very happy for that to take over. It's exactly what you said. Precious. It's a precious story, and continues the streak now of 3 straight years with no Disney film winning animated film. Man. It's been a lot of great diversity. Boy and the Heron won last year. Struggling to remember the year before, but yeah.
Pinocchio. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah, so it's been animation has been on a really great high lately. So
absolutely.
Love that for them. Man. If you're talking biggest winner, I have to agree with you. That's Sean Baker. How do you not won 4 Academy Awards in one night? You go from 0 to 4 in the span of one night. That is a
Please.
huge move. But I will give my biggest winner to. Look, you don't have to like him personally. I was rooting for. I was happy for him when it happened, and the speech lost me. But Adrien Brody, man, Adrien Brody becoming a 2-time Academy Award winner, and I
Rare
mean,
air.
first off, he fended off and defended his record as the youngest winner of Best Lead Actor. Timothy
That's right.
Chalamet could have taken it if he won that night, but who stopped him? The man himself. Brody winning his first Oscar in the 20 plus years since he won that Oscar. Hasn't gotten a nomination since. A lot of people thought his career was dead. I was happy for him. Go ahead, throw your shit out there. You know, be that dude for a minute. Like you made your comeback completely. And I don't know if you won anybody over by playing off the orchestra to say, like, you know, I've done this rodeo before. Yeah.
Hey.
I've been here before. Don't worry, I'll be brief. And then proceeds to say 2.5 minutes of nothing.
Platitudes, nothing.
Nothing. He said 5.5 minutes of nothing.
Ugh.
But he wasn't the worst. I can just continue to give him this credit because he wasn't the worst speech of the night. God damn those Emilia Perez people, man. I was begging, like, I know the voters were like, we should have given it to Elton. We should have given it because they've surely determined that anybody but Diane Warren is winning that award. 16 nominations for her in Best Original Song. Never won.
If there was a year where there was nothing but average songs, let this be the Diane Warren year. Let it be her year. Give her this one.
They could have a year where there's 5 nominations from Diane Warren in there, and they will just cancel the category.
Oh, sorry, because
shit, we forgot about it.
Yeah, that's a clean transition into my biggest losers. When you try to get the party going with your own song, like you're trying to chant it into existence. Whew. And the only good that came out of that was Jacques Audiard, who famously said that Spanish, something along the lines of Spanish is the language of the poor, Spanish is the language of struggle.
Yeah.
Which is why he went with that for Emilia Perez. I'm glad that their 30-second karaoke was able to cut him off so he could not speak and get himself into further shit. I was dreading him and his stupid Emilia Perez hat coming up onto the stage. He does win, and luckily he doesn't get to talk. So even though he's an Oscar winner, Jacques Audiard, a loser in my eyes.
I have to agree with you on there. I will only differ to say that they're number 2 on my biggest loser of the night. If I have to go the biggest loser, it's who we already brought up, and that is Hulu. Hulu shit the bed. Especially with I think the latest report is the Academy's contract with ABC and Disney is up in 2028. So they're trying to get that negotiated down, but it's pretty much already looking like ABC is not going to continue to host the Oscars. They're going to find a new home. And they said Hulu shitting the bed that night definitely did not help the case for the Academy. And you talk about the Bond tribute and how a little random it was. I don't know if it was a little random when Amazon Prime just, takes over the Bond franchise. Don't be surprised to see, Amazon can handle a live event. But my God, Hulu, come on, man. We're talking about it. It only helped the case of the Oscars, right? They kept preaching. I think the big theme of the night was save the theaters. Save the movie. We need to save the theaters. We need to save the theaters as we stream on Hulu. And Hulu collapses, just fumbles at the goal line.
Did you watch it on Hulu?
I did not. I watched it on ABC on
ABC. I did as well, but I saw that on Twitter. They were like, "What's happening?" And I'm like, "Did something happen?" I was like, "Oh."
God bless traditional linear TV for one night.
Yes, man.
Yeah. Hey, man. You know what, Travis? Oscars, we love them. We love them. We love this show. We look forward to it every year. But I'll be damned if they're not the biggest. because the 323 has its own personal awards now. We have our awards to hand out in film because they can't get everybody. You miss people every now and then. So that's where Travis, Byram, and I come aboard to take over, and we hand out our awards in the only way that the 323 network can hand out an award, and that is with top fives. Yes, folks, we're doing the imaging and everything. These are the top 5 personal film awards for 2025 or 2024 in 2025. We're starting out with a bang.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the 323's Top 5.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
That's right. We're getting funky with it. With the top 5 personal film awards. So, Travis, we're going to tell the people how we do it here. We have 6 categories to go through, and of course, we'll expand in the future. We could not do original song because I'll be damned, I couldn't think of a song. And we can do score. We might expand into music next year, but for now, we're going to start with the top 6 here. We're going to do best top 5 films from each of us. We will do top 5 male performances, top 5 female performances, no lead, no supporting, just overall performances from those 2. We will do our top 5 breakout performances of the year, our top 5 directors and directorial performances, and the top 5 screenplays of 2024 in film. So I think we'll start right there with screenplay. We will go, that's one of our passions. It's a shared passion for both of us. We both have a history in screenwriting a little bit. You more than me. This man's a champion, folks. Follow him, find his work. But I will go ahead, I will start, and I will lead to you since you are our network film expert. I'm going to let you have final say on all of these. And I don't have OLIs necessarily here, but number 5, Travis, on my top 5 screenplays of the year, I'm going with a film that really captured my eye. Like, as soon as I saw the little trailer, it caught me on Twitter. And I was fascinated with the film from there. Loved the idea of it. It was very brilliant. Petered in a little places, but overall a super cool idea, and that is Late Night with the Devil. It was a fantastic little horror film. Definitely go check it out wherever you can. Very original, very creepy, and just a really, really cool way that they go about it. And I'm a Late Night fan, so I'm a little biased to it. I think we're going to share a few of these too. Number 4 for me is, again, something ties a little bit to a late night and a show that I'm very passionate about and love a lot. That is Saturday Night.
Ooh.
Love the script of it. The dialogue is just bap, 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 bap. The whole movie is that exactly. It's just nonstop. The wit in it is incredible. The jokes made in it, some of the shit that is said, I can't believe it. It is a fantastic film, fantastic archive, and fantastic journaling of Saturday Night Live and its origin. Number 3 for me, I have The Brutalist. Beautiful story, absolutely epic and creative story to tell of the immigrant experience, especially coming out of Germany and the Holocaust. It's just a beautiful story of the power of immigrants and especially, the dynamics of power as a whole. Definitely a great script. Number 2 for me, a horror movie that's not a horror movie, but it's more of a horror movie the closer that we, the further that we get into 2025, and that is Civil War. Alex Garland's script is terrifying. If you're watching the current climate of not only our country, but the world as a whole, but capturing a perfect look at divisiveness through the eyes of journalistic figures and what you can become desensitized to and what you never really get desensitized to. It's a very, very biting take at what our current political climate looks like and the divisiveness in this country and how bad it could really get. Number one, though, best screenplay of the year for me, the number one screenplay of 2024 is Conclave. Loved it. Travis described it perfectly. It is Mean Girls set amongst the papacy. It is.
That's it, man.
Just the cattiest, bitchiest cardinals that you will see. And the dialogue is incredible. The story it tells, the moral and theological debates are wonderfully represented throughout the film. I loved it. Loved the screenplay. That's my number one for me.
Fantastic, man. Yeah, we got a lot of similarities here. Great list. Number 5 is also going to be Late Night with the Devil.
Look at that.
Great take on the Exorcist genre. Yeah, you said it best. Loved such a great concept. Such a great concept of basically a found footage film. And even though the ending got maybe a little too Lynchian for me, got a little out of the bounds of what they had created so far. Had a blast with this one. Would have loved to have seen this get a little more love. Number 4 is going to be Pharrell Williams' documentary Piece by Piece.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a documentary, but I still think to frame a Pharrell, just the idea of a Pharrell Williams Lego documentary where they do say shit, they do smoke weed, and they're just pushing the boundaries of what we're used to in a Lego film. I just found it so charming. I was with our good buddy Aaron Haynes, and there was so much Virginian representation in that film. I loved seeing that. What a strange idea. I knew there was no way in hell that it was going to do well at the box office. It didn't. I thought maybe it'll do well at the Oscars. It sure didn't. Not animated, not documentary, not anything, not best use of Pharrell Williams.
Damn.
But a wonderful time. Number 3 is going to be Blink Twice.
Okay.
Yes, Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut. Really good, I'd say, not to give too much away, but good post-Me Too thriller. Has an excellent twist, if a little campy, a little pulpy, that I did not see coming. Very Hitchcockian, and yeah, you need a tight script to get that across, and I see Zoe doing a lot more work in the future with the genre. Number 2 is going to be Civil War. I will say I really expected this to be more in the vein of a, fuck one side or fuck the other, but it's not red versus blue. It really surprised me and just went the route of this is a love letter to photojournalists and how far they're willing to go to get the news to us. I just love a ragtag team also doing a little road trip movie. It was comfort food for me, but also being pretty daring with what it's saying. So another one that got some love at the WGAs. Would have loved to see that nominated somewhere this season. And then number 1, of course, I'm agreeing with Reed Murphy. I'm agreeing with the Academy. It's got to be Conclave. Just the most, seriously, some of the most fun I had with me and like the 10 other boomers that were there on like a Wednesday night at a Regal. We were going, ooh, oh, did he really hit the vape? Ooh, it was just so twisty. Ray Fiennes is excellent. Stanley Tucci's fantastic. Our friend John Lithgow killing it. But to me, the script was the star of Conclave.
Absolutely. Well, look, we have our first, because I figured if we agree on one, it is an absolute, no arguments had, decisive winner of a 323 Top 5 Film Award, and we have our first. Congratulations, Conclave.
Woo.
Yeah. Look, we'll see how we do in the breakouts category. And I want to go to breakout performances. Now, this one is a little, you can decide how we decide a breakout. You will define it how you want. Mikey Madison was somebody that's an OLI for me here. I was not sure whether to put her as a breakout. I know there are a lot of people who had no idea who she was before this. And then there are people like me who know her very well from Better Things and known her for a long time. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and a couple I didn't even think about it till Oscars night that she is the first Ghostface to win an Oscar. So congrats to her, because she had a great turn in one of the Scream films. So I don't have her in my breakouts, but number 5 for me here, I have young actress, former Mormon, Sophie Thatcher from the film Heretic.
Oh, nice.
She is a former LDS church member like myself, and she used that well in the film, playing a sister missionary who is trapped in this home that she and her partner go to visit. It's held by this wild, religious, all over the place dude played by Hugh Grant. And it's a fantastic film. Go watch it. But she gives a great performance, a great, strong performance as somebody trapped in this house. Number 4 for me, I have Clarence Macklin from the film Sing Sing.
Oh, yeah.
I loved what Sing Sing did altogether, of combining established actors like Coleman Domingo along with brand newfound actors who, former prisoners themselves, former incarcerated figures. And Clarence Macklin gave a great performance in this film, and I hope he continues to get some great work going forward. Number 3, I have Ella Hunt from Saturday Night. Ella Hunt had a very hard task of playing Gilda Radner, one of my favorite SNL cast members of all time. Gilda Radner was, I think, the blueprint for so many female comedians going forward. You could see her work in a lot of actresses, even to the point of like Emma Stone. Emma Stone has cited Gilda Radner as one of her favorites. Ella Hunt played her perfectly. Got every bit of the, comedic timing down, had all of the humanity down, and just like somebody that you love. You can't wait to see her again on there. I think that she can continue to deliver with those kind of comedic performances, not just doing a Gilda Radner impression, which is what I love the most about the film. And actually brings out one of my OLIs, Corey Michael Smith, did the same thing, playing Chevy Chase in the film.
Oh, killer.
Not just a impression, but they actually delivered a great performance along with it and created a character alongside these great people. Somebody that I can say did the same thing is my number 2, Monica Barbaro from A Complete Unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful depiction of Joan Baez. Showed it with that Oscar nomination, and I believe will have a great career going forward. Seems like a really great presence. But number 1, though, man, this dude took off. This dude blew up internationally. He's been called the Ryan Gosling of Russia. He said he doesn't know what that means. It is Yuri Borisov from Anora.
Absolutely.
That bald head from Igor, he was fantastic. Great character. I think he's going to have a wonderful future moving forward in film. I hope he gets a lot of really great, diverse roles.
Love that, man. Yeah, love the Saturday Night Love. Even though we didn't get as much of an exploration into her as we did other characters, you're so right. Ella Hunt captured the essence of Gilda, that kind of ethereal, floaty, just a good vibe, just a great vibe. All right, number 5, I am going with, starting off with a movie that's going to make several appearances in these categories. I watched during my 31 days of Halloween. We are starting off with Jack Haven and I Saw the TV Glow.
Okay.
Yeah, performed under a different name, a dead name. Now is kind of leaning more towards kind of a trans mask appearance. But yeah, Jack Haven kind of played the opposite to Justice Smith. And I saw the TV Glow. It's a very restrained performance. They have very wild eyes. And in a movie like that, it's all in the eyes. The horror, the confusion of going through puberty and not knowing if anyone is like you and then finding your person. It was just a tender performance, and I am excited to see wherever the hell they go up. I hope they keep collaborating with, I want to get this right, Jane Schonbrun, I believe is how you say her name, the director, one of my favorites out right now. Number 4, not going to take up too much time with this because we're going bar for bar here, but I got Clarence Macklin and Sing Sing.
Love it.
Yep, I would gladly. I don't know who I would trade out, but I would trade out somebody to put him in supporting actor. But I am so glad that he did get an Oscar nomination for penning the story to this. He is an absolute dynamic presence. Number 3, I'm going with another youngster. Going with Brandon Wilson from Nickel Boys.
Good clue.
Yes, of the two main lads from the story, he he just reminded me of that kid that you meet in school that has a smirk behind their, a smirk behind every smile. He's always a bit of a troublemaker, but it was such a heartfelt performance. He feels like, instead of like a 25 or 30-year-old trying to play a teenager, it's nice to see teenagers playing teenagers. And I just think he has a huge career ahead of him. And this isn't his film debut, but certainly I think his biggest role. And you could do a lot worse than a Best Picture nominee coming out the gate.
100%.
Number 2 is going to match your number 1 Academy Award nominee, Yuri Borisov. Again, another one where it is so much of that performance lies directly not in his chrome dome, but in his eyes. When he's, when they're kind of roughing up Annie a little bit, and he's, he's kind of looking at her like he wants to protect her. He so clearly, over the course of the day or a couple of days when it goes down, is so into her. Their little moment that they have when they're watching TV, it's so tender. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, I felt like I was intruding. I was watching their chemistry kind of sizzle. I think he has another long career ahead of him. I hope they don't just put him in a Bond villain role right off the bat. That would be pretty lame. Put Yuri Borisov, the Russian Ryan Gosling, in something worthy of his talents. And number 1, the muscle mommy of the year, Katie O'Brien in Love Lies Bleeding. Woo! This was the very first movie I saw in 2024. And of course, Kristen Stewart, we all know and love, but playing her opposite, this mysterious drifter who kind of falls for Kristen and is a mysterious presence. It's a very sexy performance. It's a very emotional, tender performance. Hey, as long as directors aren't afraid of hiring a strong woman, let Liam Neeson retire and put Katie O'Brien in some of his films. I think she's up to the task. She exploded for me. I thought she was wonderful.
Love it. That's a wild movie. Love Lies Bleeding. That's a
bonkers.
That movie takes a turn. That movie gets crazy. Definitely go check that out. That's a great list. Good job. Look, let's keep it rolling. Best directors, our top 5 directors of the year.
Right.
I'm going off, for me, it's the top 5 performances by these directors. What really caught my eye? What really showed me something I haven't seen, or, locked me in completely to a film? So, OLI for me is the Academy Award winner for Best Director, Sean Baker. He is an OLI. He did not make the top 5 for me on this. I was a little disappointed when I saw the Oscars list for Best Director. I thought they could have. I thought there were a lot of people they missed, and I have some of them here. Number 5 on this for me is Jason Reitman of Saturday Night. Not a perfect movie, but it's a movie that catches such a chaotic, frenetic pace of getting that hour and a half before Saturday Night Live debuted its first episode, and it perfectly captures how chaotic it was, how insane all of it, was to even think about, let alone execute. And
the calamity.
Yeah, Reitman captured it all perfectly. It made me laugh. It made me feel inspired in a lot of parts. And you go from that chaos to just the skating rink scene. There's an ice skating rink scene outside of 30 Rock between Lorne and Gilda and John Belushi when they're trying to, wrangle him in and back into the studio. That, I don't know, it just made me, you feel calm with the characters as you're going through it. So I loved what he did with this. Number 4, though, such an experimental type of movie, unlike anything I've really seen in years, and that is what Ramel Ross did with Nickel Boys.
Mm-hmm.
To do this film, which is, it digs into your heart, it's gut-wrenching in parts, and it tells an incredible story literally through the eyes of its characters. You're getting the POV shots here the entire time. Just a wonderful, wonderful experiment, and I can't wait to see what he does creatively next. Played at Georgetown too, basketball player from Georgetown. If we need the sports connection, is really awesome.
Let's go.
Number 3, I have Edward Berger, who directed Conclave. Again,
yes,
we've said what we need to say on Conclave. Captured absolute bitchy pettiness between Cardinals, but also had some incredible shots. I will forever think about the shot of the Cardinals returning in the rain, the umbrellas, seeing it from a top point of view. I thought everything was captured. I don't want to spoil it for people, but there is a scene towards the end that completely caught me off guard. Comes from the heavens themselves. Scared the shit out of me. Because I didn't realize what just happened. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful movie. Doesn't reach number 2, though, for me. Number 2 was somebody that I was very upset did not get an Oscar nomination, and that is John M. Chu for Wicked.
Ooh.
I have been a fan of Chu's work for a while, since Crazy Rich Asians. I loved what he did with In the Heights. He has shown that he is a wonderful, wonderful collector of colors and bright scenes and choreography and music, and he showcased it all in Wicked. I thought it was wonderfully directed. I thought it was a huge task to, try and adapt one of the biggest Broadway musicals of all time. This easily could have been a failure of just massive. Like, the hype was crazy.
Insane, bro.
It should fail and would fail by all other accounts, but he made it work to wonderful degrees, and I can't wait to see how he closes it out with part 2. Number 1, though, for me, it goes to a dude who put in a shit ton of work on an epic that, most people aren't going to think this is going to sell. Like, you're not going to go for a 3.5 hour epic film about just chronicling the life of an immigrant, but what Brady Corbet did with The Brutalist was worthy of number 1 for me.
Yes.
Would have awarded him the Oscar. I think it was just so many parts of it that just stick with me. And ultimately, if you can tell a 3.5 hour story in, I won't say brisk time, but in a way that it doesn't feel like 3.5 hours, you got my heart. You got my vote. So that is my number 1 on my top 5 directors.
Excellent, man. Excellent. And honestly, hearing those, I want to add those to mine. You know, I wish sometimes the Oscars were like Critics' Choice, where they nominate up to 10. I mean, all bangers you pointed out, but number 5, I am going with Travis. I'm trying to think of if it's Robert or Roger. I think I've probably called him both, but we're going to call him Mr. Eggers for Nosferatu.
Oh, alive for me too.
Yeah, man. I'll be honest. I was a little disappointed that this was his next film. I have so loved his original horror films and, horror adjacent in The Northman. I was like, this is a story, the Dracula story, which is all Nosferatu is. They couldn't, back in 1922, I think Bram Stoker's family who had the rights, they were like, you can't make this Dracula. So they were like, how about Nosferatu? It's just Dracula again. But
hornier.
Why wasn't that the tagline? But yeah, he made it scary. He made it shades of blue that I have. What else would you call that except nightmare blue? And yeah, he gave the original a run for its money. Very excited to see what he does with an original werewolf script that he's doing. Should be coming out, I think, in 26 or 27.
Very.
And we just know that it'll be in the dialect of its time. Willem Dafoe is going to be a wolf at some point, and there's going to be wolf sex. We can count on that.
Extra horny Dracula, extra horny wolves. You do.
And then sticking with the horror theme, actually for these next 2, we're going to go with recent Oscar nominee, I want to say Coraline Fargit for The Substance.
Yes.
Yeah, I did think The Substance got a little repetitive with its themes. I think if a half hour was cut from it, I think we would be none the wiser and it would flow just as good, if not a whole lot better. But when I think of Best Director, I'm not thinking anonymity. I'm thinking, here's a person who has their vision. Here's an auteur at work. And I have not seen her previous films. Would love to check them out now. But The Substance truly is a film of substance. Super creative shots. Was disappointed it didn't get in for editing. Yes, it's a simple story, but told with the ferocity and boldness that Miss Fargit did it. I eagerly await what she has next. The same with another female director of horror. That's going to be Jane, I want to say Schönbrunn, for I Saw the TV Glow.
Love that movie.
Now that our beloved David Lynch has gone on to the other side, I think Jane is definitely the heir to the throne. Really topical, creepy, ambient horror throughout this one. And she kind of does a little play on Buffy the Vampire Slayer with I Saw the TV Glow. A great story about friendship, puberty, growing up, mental health, all in her strange vision. Definitely one of my favorite finds of my Halloween movies. And I would recommend, again, please watch Red Rocket and watch We're All Going to the World's Fair some of my favorite 20 films that I found last year. Number 2. This was a franchise that I was a little cold on that swept the Oscars back in 2021. But truly, I think what made the difference was turning on the captions and understanding what the hell they were saying. And I thought this brought it to a whole different level of storytelling. I don't know. Speaking of David Lynch, as good of a director as he was, he shit the bed with his Dune. But Denis Villeneuve's Dune 2, that is my number 2.
Hard not to award that.
Yeah, man. Truly epic filmmaking at its finest. Again, would have loved to have seen that in the director's spot, but alas, his day will come. A lot of people talking about Dune Messiah pulling a Return of the King, sweeping all the technicals, sweeping Best Picture, and you know what? I think I might be just here for it. But number 1, once again, we're matching up. We're going Brady Corbet with The Brutalist.
Hey!
Yeah, man, I gladly would have given him the Oscar as well. I really think I benefited too from hearing his WTF interview with Mark Maron. The guy is, he's dying for this shit. Literally. He's like, the man is exhausted. I hope I didn't tell this on the last episode, but Mark Maron said, "Are you excited for the Oscars?" And Brady Corbet said, "I'm excited for it to be over." He put everything into this. Of course, famously, he got it done for a clean 10 mil in 33 days. If you told me it took 2 years of filming and $55 million to make that movie, I would have no problem accepting that. Right. The fact that he got it in that time, the man is economical at the very least, and I think it was a masterwork. I'm looking forward to seeing his earlier stuff. Vox Lux, I know with Natalie Portman, was his biggest one up until this point, but I'm going to echo what he said to close this list out. He said that if he wins or he loses, this buzz that he's been getting is going to give him the currency to make another film. And I think you and I will be first in line to see that.
100%. I can't wait to see what he's going to do next. A lot of all these directors, I'm very excited to see their next project. Now, I love that you brought up the substance in this. That was an OLI for my screenplays. And as we transition to best female performance, our top 5 female performances of the year, Demi Moore was, I'm not going to say highly expected, but she was a betting favorite to win lead actress at the Oscars. And God, how art imitated life as the younger starlet and Mikey Madison beat her to win that award. What an insane way for that to go. I will kick off the top 5 female performances of the year by putting Demi Moore on my OLI. She did not make the top 5. Very brave, very bold performance. But number 5 for me here is one that I think was very understated, very held together till parts where she needed to explode, and somebody that I thought was underrated throughout the entire Oscar race, and that was Felicity Jones for The Brutalist.
Nice.
I loved how she just kind of took command as soon as she got onto the screen. Her character just took over and delivered a hell of a monologue towards the end, a monologue that completely broke the movie at that point. So, loved her there. Number 4, somebody who the Oscars couldn't bother to nominate for this. But I think as two people who have journalism backgrounds and understand, it's, you know, and we watch and see how journalists do throughout this shit, Kirsten Dunst in Civil War. She was
what a badass.
Such a badass, and like you could read everything in her face, from the desensitized nature she was having to all of this war-torn conflict to ultimately the horror of seeing everything that she was chronicling, you know, overseas now happening on homeland, and kind of feeling broken and defeated. That I thought I was telling you all to not do this shit. Turns out you didn't care, you didn't listen. So I there was so many elements of her performance that went from badass to wonderful, beautiful to heartbreaking. Great time in showing by her.
Yeah.
Number 3, I have the winner of Best Lead Actress, Mikey Madison, for Anora. You said it perfectly last week when we were previewing the show. She captures Brooklyn stripper perfectly. Like, she delivered such a great grown-up performance here and really just commanded the screen the entire time, demanded your respect, demanded your watch. Loved her in this. But number one, man, I'll knock them right off the bat here. It's Wicked. It's the Wicked gals. It's the Wicked gals. But what order? Number 2, I have Cynthia Erivo. Number 2, Cynthia Erivo. She was absolutely commanding, stunning. Her eyes just in the Ozdust Ball. Her eyes, her performance through that dance, everything about it. Like, I was locked in. I was tearing up watching that. She had me by the neck through that. But number 1, man, Ariana Grande. We've talked about it all, since the movie came out. A superstar turned performance. She locked that movie down, stole every scene that she was in, and made me genuinely laugh throughout it. And not only that, her singing, which I know a lot of it was done live on the set. God damn. Like, just overall a damn near perfect performance by her there. Ariana Grande is my number 1 for Wicked there.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. No spoilers at all that she will make an appearance. Number 5 for me is Zendaya in her steamy role in Challengers. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think I got a little too used to her playing kind of a, submissive stoner in Rue in Euphoria.
Yeah.
She was a boss babe in Challengers. She had her 2 little white boys, as she said, wrapped around her finger. It was so cool to see her in such a bracingly adult performance. And I pray that she works with Luca Guadagnino again. I think he's gotten the best performance from her out of her yet. She's everyone's crush. She's everyone's Hollywood's looking at. And I think this was a role that was up to, her standards. Number 4, I'm going with Elizabeth Olsen and His 3 Daughters. It's a movie that I think would make a clean transition into a play. So there's not, with that said, all that's left on the table is the performances. She plays kind of the sister that definitely has to be the mediator. She has to be the middleman. She's kind of a hippy dippy, real big deadhead. And, again, I think it was just so nice to see her out of the tights. So nice to see her, apart from Vision and take on just a meaty, dramatic role. And I thought she absolutely killed it. I know Natasha Lyonne was getting most of the love for that movie for supporting actress, but Elizabeth Olsen, she just had my deepest sympathy because that was a tough crowd of sisters. Number 3, I hope I get this name right. Feel free, anyone out there, to correct the pronunciation. I want to say Adria Arjona in Hitman.
Awesome movie.
Yeah,
Deep dive movie.
Yeah, man. Glenn Powell. Okay, just checking. Did not make. He is an also ran for my male performances. Loved getting to see him flex his comedic chops. But man, talk about another steamy performance. Just about the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Along with playing excellently off of Glenn. Great comedic chemistry. Great chemistry in general. I just love a sexy, funny lady. And she's, Again, another role where it's like this is where her career needs to be going. I want to say she was in, oh God, I don't know if she was in Madam Web or not, but Morbius. She was in Morbius. She won, I think she won Worst Supporting Actress at the Razzies a couple of years ago for Morbius, and you can't take a better U-turn than working with my favorite director, Richard Linklater. So say no to the superheroes. Say yes to more movies like this, Adria.
I'll give her credit, though. She was freaking great in Andor on Disney Plus on the Star Wars story Andor. She is very, very good on a very dramatic Star Wars story.
Hey, she's killing the game. Number 2, we got perhaps the heir to the Clarice Starling throne. We've got Micah Monroe in Longlegs.
Yeah.
Woo! I've mentioned a lot of good horror. Longlegs has not come up yet. You're about to see a lot more of it from this point on. Had to have been one of my favorite horror movies last year, if not the top. Micah freaked me out. Her character is so anxious. So, seemingly, why would you get into a job like that when you have that disposition? And then you go on her Instagram, and I kind of got like a party girl vibe. It seems like it's not her at all. I didn't remember her too well from It Follows. I know that was her big breakout, but she bowled me over in this movie. Give me a whole franchise with her taking on supernatural villains like Longlegs. I thought Micah was fantastic. And I'll be honest, I think it's genre bias that she didn't get more love this season. She's not as established as Demi for that horror nomination. I'm pretty sure she can't sing as well as Cynthia for that musical fantasy nomination. But I don't know, man. Once we come to the end of the 2020s, I think you're going to see her name in this movie as an entry as far as the best performances. And number 1, no one wants the wicked. Ariana Grande. I love that face.
I love it.
Let's make that the thumbnail. I've said enough, but I'm just gonna end this on one sentence. It is so rare to get to see a role that someone is seemingly born to play. But we got to see it with Ariana Grande. She is why she didn't sweep the entire season and Zoe Saldana took her Oscar. The world may never know. Was it the donuts, Reed? Was it just because of licking the donuts?
Maybe it was the donuts. It could have been SpongeBob by her side. I don't Bach. It could have been Bach by her side. I don't know. I just know that she was great. I know. She did a great job.
I know.
Look, man, it's a stacked group here. Let's go right into top 5 male performances here by these actors, leading and supporting. And man, I'm going to first off, I have an OLI in Glenn Powell. I loved him in Hitman. He is also one of my OLIs there. But number 5, number 4, they're off the beaten path, and I'm excited to share them with you.
Okay.
Number 5 for me, I have Hugh Grant in Heretic.
So excited to see that.
Oh, it's such a great movie. It is not as horror as I thought it was going to be. Much more thriller and really just like religious and theology, moral debate and discourse and discussion kind of film. I loved it. I'm a little biased because I come from the LDS background, but I think Hugh Grant was just so devilishly fun. He was having so much fun playing the villain here, and just he's wicked, but you can't tell sometimes. Oh, okay, maybe this dude is legit. No, yeah, he's definitely a creep. He's playing it. He gives you the ick. He is a great definition of the ick in this movie, and I think he played it well. I wish he had gotten some more award love this season, but he's getting it from me. Number 4, I was wondering if this guy was going to get some type of award love. Did not see it for this year, but through the Marvel drama, through the Blake Lively drama, and it ends with us. Maybe there was, things just got drowned, things got swept away, but I think he gave ultimately what I'll call an underrated performance now in what was a crowded, huge, massive blockbuster of the summer. And number 4 for me is Hugh Jackman in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a wildly redemptive turn on the character. I think it was some of Hugh's best acting where you can just see absolute pain and grief and regret in this dude's eyes and his face. His screaming monologue at where he's just going the fuck off on Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool in the car, where I call it his Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles scene. It stuck with me for so long, but also gave a great campfire monologue to his younger clone in X-23, and it was just I thought he brought so much, so many different angles and so many different depths to a character that has been going for a long time, that he has been playing for a long time, that he'll be playing till he's 90. He brought a new look to the character, and I thought it was daring and great, and I put him at number 4 on here. Number 3, it's a movie we both love, and out of all the catty, bitchy people in the Conclave, this guy was the one to hold them all together and to hold the thing together, and it was Ralph Fiennes. I think there were so many layers to this performance. He just had lead, spilling lead, like he's leading this shit, and even when he breaks down, I'm feeling for him, and I'm almost rooting for him to be the Pope, but I also believe him when he's telling me that he shouldn't be, and I'm trying to say, no, you should be Ralph Fiennes. And I know you didn't win the Oscar, so a lot of people said you should be Ralph, but God damn it, I think you did good enough to still be Rafe.
I hope he can be the real Pope after, I don't know how this guy's doing. I don't know how Francis is doing. Put Ralph Fiennes up there.
I mean, why not? Why not?
Fuck it. Pope Ralph. Pope Ralph the First.
Number 2 and number 1, though, I go chalk here, and I won't spend too much time on him because we've been talking about him for weeks. And number 2 for me is Kieran Culkin from A Real Pain. Just a performance that stuck with me, and he was just, I think, perfectly described in the film as, I want to be him, I want to kill him. Like this is a character that just had so much pain, but also so much charm. I think Kieran Culkin delivered it perfectly, and I hope he just doesn't get stuck playing characters like this from here on. Yeah. Number 1, though, the lead actor winner himself, Adrien Brody, for The Brutalist. Couldn't argue with it. I wanted to be different, but it was a performance that haunted me. I was thinking about it for days, and the entire time, outside of the opening, don't watch with your family scene, with his Milton Berle hanging out. The rest of the film, I think he was truly haunting, devastating, layered, everything that you need out of a performance. To completely forget that you're watching a film, to completely forget that you're watching an actor. He made Laszlo a living, breathing person right in front of me for the entire runtime of 3.5 hours. Loved it. I think it's a classic performance from here on out. Shout out to Adrien Brody. You win an Oscar and you get on my top 5.
Hell yeah, man. I'm sure he would thank you and keep thanking you and keep thanking you.
Yeah, he would tell us to shut the fuck up when we're trying to get him off the stage, and then he would continue to thank us.
Thank you. All right, thank you. All right, number 5. Really put, truly, this could say the Conclave Ensemble. I mean, I am so glad that it specifically, Conclave definitely would have been my second choice behind Wicked to win Best Picture. I don't care that it's the most Oscar baity of them all. It was the one that gave me the most joy last year, besides Wicked. Since we've given so much love to Lithgow, to Tooch, to Ralph, I'm going to give it to someone who's really just had one main scene. He was the first Pope that just got dealt a shitty hand, got sabotaged. I won't say by who, and I hope I'm not butchering this name. It is Lucian, I want to say Masamati, as Cardinal Adiyami in Conclave.
Yeah.
I loved that basically his character was just having a temper tantrum when he got confronted. He's like, I wanted it so bad.
It was I thought of my SAT kids watching him. It was wild to watch a grown man going for the Pope do that.
Yes, it reminded me of my first graders when it's like, what do you mean I can't have recess?
I just want to be the Pope so bad.
It's a great little performance. Number 4. I kind of want to switch this out. I'm doing it. I'm going off the script.
Whoa.
I had them all written here, but what you just said, it reminded me how much this performance did not get love. I think he was only nominated for the Globes. I want to go number 4. I'm going to switch out Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Love it.
Yeah, Kieran Culkin, this is not his fault. I know there's been a lot of discourse saying that he's playing a version of himself. Number 1, none of us know who Kieran Culkin is. We don't know what his personality is versus his persona. He brought a real depth to the role. I appreciated it. I feel like I could not personally enjoy it because I have had a Benji in my life. And his performance was hard to watch because of that fact. It is so accurate to say what Jesse Eisenberg said when he walks into a room, lights it up, and then he shits all over it. It's so real. But Jesse was going to play that role, but he decided to give it to Kieran. And, at first I thought, oh, it's another Jesse Eisenberg performance. He's anxious. He's nervous. He's wearing khakis. But then you get further on in the film and you get that monologue at the dinner table where he is so vulnerable and he's so fucking tired of this guy that he's just letting himself go out there. I mean, it is an underrated performance, to say the least. I would have happily switched someone out from Best Actor for Jesse. Number 3, Bill Skarsgård.
The extra horny Dracula himself.
Nosferatu, man. There is no makeup that he cannot wear, whether he's wearing a clown nose or a big scary Dracula penis. Bill Skarsgård is just it's like
giant.
He's like, I feel like he's the new Doug Jones, Guillermo del Toro's muse for The Shape of Water, for Hellboy. Put him in some makeup and let him disappear.
He's a modern day damn, I'm forgetting his name. Lon Chaney.
Yes. Oh, yes. We need those guys, man.
Yeah.
We need our horror icons. And between this and It and Barbarian, he is picking up the slack for the genre. Unrecognizable, had no idea. If his name was taken off, would have no idea who played this character.
Yeah.
He just disappeared into it. And in a similar vein, number 2 is going to be Nick Cage. Crazy legs, long legs.
Crazy Nick Cage.
Crazy legs. My long legs is not as good as my Nosferatu. They really used him sparingly. I love when they use the monster in the horror sparingly. You could have shot every scene with Nick Cage in here, and I would have been glued to it, but it was so much more effective when you didn't see his face till about an hour in. And it's really, really freaky. It's I can't imagine better casting for Nick Cage. Really thought when I left the theater that he would have gotten some supporting actor love, but he will have to settle with my silver medal for the 323 awards. And number one, in a room, literally, a studio full of crazy characters vying for your attention in the universe and on screen, the man who held it together couldn't have had a better graduation from being Steven Spielberg's Avatar to being Lorne Michaels' Avatar. We got Gabriel LaBelle in Saturday Night.
That was an excellent performance.
Yes, Lorne Michaels, will we ever truly know who he is? No. We know the impressions. We know Mike Myers used him as a springboard for his Dr. Evil impression. But we don't really know the man. And this is the closest I feel like I've gotten to understanding who Lorne is, this comedy kingpin. Once upon a time, he was just scared and had a dream about not wanting to change the face of comedy, but just wanting to do his own thing and wanting people to fuck off and leave him alone. Leave him alone, Milton Berle, with your giant penis.
Yeah. Big dicked Milton Berle, Nosferatu of comedy.
Can we give J.K. Simmons an OLI too?
Yeah.
I feel like he's provided so much for this podcast.
He should play Nosferatu. Oh, J.K. Simmons as Milton Berle as Nosferatu, as Count Orlok.
Engrave the Oscar now, folks. Engrave the Oscar now.
Think about it, Hollywood. Love it. I love that love for Gabriel LaBelle. I am very excited for this dude's career because I didn't even realize until like near the end of the movie. I was like, oh shit, this is the Fablemans. I was like, this is the Kid from the Fablemans. Like, I was so looking forward to like what he was going to do next, and he delivered with Saturday Night. He did great as Lorne, and just like you said, a cavalcade of chaos and calamity, and this dude is the center of it and holding it down. Great job by him. Great shout by you on there. Let's finish out the awards here, buddy.
Woo!
We have our top 5 films of the year. I'll kick it off here. Of course, you got OLIs all over the place. Like Heretic did not make the cut for me. Anora, the Best Picture winner, did not make the cut for me. Number 5, something that didn't even get nominated, and I won't spend a lot of time on these because we've talked about them and praised them so much already. Saturday Night at number 5 for me is on this. Just a movie I was in love with from the start. It stressed me out. Had me howling with laughter, also had me mourning some of these beloved characters, and also made me feel so good watching everything come together. And that was just doubted and pushed apart. As creatives, we feel that process. We understand that things should fail, things will fail, things will blow up, and they will blow up even more than we thought. But we're still pursuing and fighting through. This movie really kind of inspired a little bit more for me, and with all that kind of stuff. Number 4, 3.5 hour epic itself, The Brutalist.
Let's go.
Loved it. What a transcendent story, haunting visuals. You can't ask for much more from a film. Number 3, horror film of the year, Civil War.
Yes.
It would have been higher, but damn if I don't feel like we're close to it, so it scares me a little bit more, and I'd like to get away from it. Yeah. Number 2, we have talked about this movie for weeks, for months. We have sang it for you. I know. It's Wicked. But the number 1 for me, buddy, I love this movie so much more than I thought I was going to. I will watch it whenever it comes on. It's going to be one of those movies for me. Conclave and those bitchy Cardinals.
Conclave Hive, rise.
Rise up.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, man. It's hard to beat. Yep. I'll go right through it. Number 5, my favorite horror movie of the year, Long Legs, Osgood Perkins. Really want to check out The Monkey.
I really want to check that out too.
Yeah. Number 4, turn on the news. Is it Civil War? Number 3, Saturday Night. The closest I have felt to the experience that Uncut Gems gave me, which is to say a panic attack.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Number 2, we've got Mean Popes. It's Conclave. And number 1, I was like, Travis, is this really your number 1? Is this a corny choice? And then I thought back to 10-year-old me, whose uncle got him tickets for his very first musical theater performance. And it was Wicked at the Kennedy Center, which will be restored to its former glory. But it had to be John M. Chu's Wicked. It just brought me the most joy. It gave me so much soundtrack fuel to sing in the mail truck. It's, was it lit the best? Maybe not, motherfuckers. Maybe not. But guess what? There's no best lighting at the Oscars. And the only award show that really matters is the 3-2-3s. And Wicked walks away with the best film.
That's right. That is right. Motherfuckers. You heard him. And it's going to be the Trump Center, and you're going to like it.
Oh. It's going to be huge.
It's huge. It is Wicked. No one mourns the wicked. I've heard it. I've said it myself. No one mourns the wicked like I do. No one mourns the wicked like I do. I came to you here in Kentucky, folks, in a bubble. You saw it. I saw it.
Yes.
Oh my God. Have you seen The Apprentice? I haven't seen it. I don't even know where to find it.
I just returned from a flight to Aruba last week, and they had it available. So I was like, great, let me watch it. That was the last Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor that I hadn't seen. They edited it. They got rid of all the fucks.
Oh.
So in the first 10 minutes where Donald Trump meets Roy Cohn, truly, because they muted it, I could not understand half the conversation because there were so many fucks. And I was like, I have to watch this uncensored.
Yeah.
So I will watch it soon, but I'm sure if I had seen it, one of those two would have made our lists.
Literally no fucks given to that by that
Exactly.
flight. Oh, man. Look, we're going to close out the show, folks, by looking to the future. We are going to talk a little bit about the 2026 offers. We won't spend too much time on it because obviously, we don't want to spoil everything for you. We already did this with the 97th Oscars. And if you want to go back into the archives and find it and look and you look for it. But I'm telling you, we predicted everything. We said all of it. We said Anora was going to win 5 of 6 Oscars. Like, we predicted everything all the way down.
You literally said that.
All the way down to the short films that I can't remember that won. And yeah, we got it wrong on our picks here, but that's because we have bad memory. We're old, so suck it. But we got it right a year ago. And we're going to do it right now with the 98th Academy Awards. What are you looking forward to? What are you watching out for this year in terms of both the films and the performances coming through 2025 that will be nominated in 2026?
Yeah, man. When it is this early and when it is literally days after the Oscars, all you can go with are the established directors who've been putting in that awards caliber work. So I will go through briefly mine. We probably have a little overlap. Several of these are sequels to Best Picture nominees. So I will just do my list real quick. The one I am most excited about, first Safdie project since Uncut Gems. We've got the Timothée Chalamet vehicle, Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
The ping pong champion. Don't know much more than that. As far as performances, again, it's so hard to tell what's going to catch. Timothy lost this year. I don't think he'll lose again. Personally, his SAG speech, I kind of loved it. When you're an awards buff, yes, when you're an awards buff like us, how many dozens of milquetoast? Oh, thank you. I want to thank my mom. Right. She drove me to auditions. No, I want to be the best. God damn it! I want to drag my big Milton Berle Nosferatu dick all over you, motherfuckers. And I want you to take it. He wants to be one of the best. Where's that edge? He's a fucking gladiator. I love that.
He is the actor for the 323 network, because like that was a speech an athlete would give. That's something that you'd hear out of like a sports icon. Mm-hmm. He cited Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps.
Yes.
He wants to be like Marlon Brando, Daniel Day-Lewis, Viola Davis. He wants to win. Motherfucker, you go do it. You win.
Do it.
Get on that Mount Rushmore.
Do it, man. I love that. So I'm rooting for Timmy, even though he has all the women that I want.
He's good at that. He's a little weirdo. He's
so good. He's a little rat boy.
Yeah. You little rat twink. Yeah. You do it.
I love you and I want to be you. Because I knew you, I have changed wicked for good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Gotta be in there. Like you said, Steven Schwartz at this moment is furiously finishing a draft of a new song that's going to play over the credits so Ariana Grande can win an Oscar. It is my most anticipated movie of this year.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it get more nominations. Then we have Luca Guadagnino's After the Hunt. Very excited about that. Don't know a ton about it, but Luca is probably on my Mount Rushmore of current filmmakers right now. Whatever he puts out, I trust. Number 3, if they're going 3 for 3, that would be quite impressive. Pull a little Lord of the Rings. We've got Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Hey.
I don't know how many more of these I can take. I don't know how much more. But you know what? I'm going to strap the 3D glasses on. They're going to be 6.5 hours long. There will be no intermission. Otherwise, James Cameron will personally hurt you. And I guess what? I'm going to be seated.
I will be too. I can't help but get into those movies. I didn't think I was going to be into number 2, and I wound up liking it more than number 1. And I don't remember anything. And I'll go into number 3 with the same feeling and come out the same way.
It's comforting in a way.
Yeah, it is.
And then these next 2 auteurs that have been killing the Best Picture game, Shape of Water, Nightmare Alley, both being nominees. We got, even though, again, another director where it's like, don't you want to try something new? But we'll see his spin on it. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Oscar Isaac in the lead. Not quite sure if he's the monster or if he's Frankenstein, or fuck it, maybe he's both. But I am excited to see that. And then finally, been seeing tiny little clips, little snippets of this for the past 2 years. Licorice Pizza, kind of as the name suggests. I enjoyed it. Left a little bad taste in my mouth with the whole age gap relationship that was going on, but I'm still excited to see Paul Thomas Anderson's untitled movie. He's got Leo. He's got Sean Penn. He's finally got a person of color in the forefront with Regina Hall anchoring the whole thing. It's set in the 70s. My ass is already in the seat.
I am very intrigued by that film because I haven't heard too many details on a plot, but the latest thing that I heard is that it's a somewhat reinterpretation of Vineland, and where it has like MAGA like characters can like
Ooh.
going up against hippie progressive liberals and fighting until the present day. Like I'm sure, I know there's going to be totally civil and restrained conversations surrounding that movie. There has to be. It'll be completely calm.
Yeah, everyone's so normal.
Everybody will be fine with it. It'll be okay. No problems whatsoever. I love what you suggested in here. There's gonna be some really fun stuff leading into this, and of course, we have movies that we're looking forward to. Like my nerdy ass is looking forward to Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. I don't think they're gonna be Oscar bait. Fantastic Four, you might see like maybe in the technical stuff if they can really nail this movie, but some of the things that I'm looking forward to here, I don't have a full top 5 on it, but I'll just throw out random ones here. Any Spike Lee joint, I'll usually at least have some anticipation for it. And he is not only doing a new film, but he is remaking I think it's supposed to be one of Japan's most legendary films in High and Low, and he is readapting it as Highest to Lowest, and it's going to star Denzel Washington. And it's their first collaboration in years. I'm looking forward to seeing what they could possibly do with this. It's either going to be a massive failure, but I feel like it's going to be if you got Denzel, you're more than likely going to do well. I mean, this dude almost made my O alive for playing a Brooklyn Roman emperor or near emperor. Like, what are you going to do? Of course, Wicked for Good. I'm very excited to see how this all finishes. I'm very excited to see the tears that are going to be running down people's faces throughout this, theater experience. We're talking about established directors, and that's how you have to look forward to the Oscars. That's the best way to really, go through it. We have, I'm drawing a blank on her name right now, but she did a beautiful romance film a couple years ago. Maybe you can help me pull this out. But it was about 2, I believe, Korean Americans who...
Yes, Greta Lee.
Yes. I believe she has a new film coming out this year with Stephen Yeun. So that is one to look forward to. Yeah, she did Past Lives. That was it. Past Lives was the film. Yeah, that was such a beautiful movie.
Gorgeous.
I really love that. Catherine Bigelow has a new film coming out this year for the first time in a few years. We also have Chloe Zhao is going to be doing Hamnet, and Eternals was Eternals, but it was beautiful. It was the most visually stunning Marvel film by far, thanks to Chloe Zhao's work. And I think she's going to go. This is going to be a little closer to what she did with Nomadland. And Hamnet is about William Shakespeare's wife, Agnes, and it's going to star Jessie Buckley as Agnes Shakespeare, and follows her as she grieves the loss of her son, Hamnet, who died young. And it's going to star her and Paul Mescal as William Shakespeare. So it should be an interesting one. But one director that I love, Noah Baumbach. I love his work. I love his writing. I love his directorial stuff. And he has a big ensemble film coming out next year called Jay Kelly. The plot details are under wraps. It's a coming of age story, but I trust it. I trust him. And what I'm looking forward to most about it, not only do you have George Clooney starring in it, Greta Gerwig will be starring in it, Patrick Wilson, I think one of the most underrated actors around right now, and Laura Dern, but somebody who, before the movie has even come out, is already getting Oscar talk and some type of, the big supporting actor consideration. This could be the Career Achievement Award. He was somebody who had a big bit during this Oscars, and I think will make his triumphant return. I hope makes a triumphant return next year and possibly get some Oscar gold. Adam Sandler apparently is getting already some big Oscar talk in the supporting actor race for this film, Jay Kelly. So I'm excited to see what it is, what it becomes. I'm excited for the whole year. I'm excited for film this year. I think this is going to be a big year, and hopefully we get some big independent film surprises throughout the year too. We get another Anora, because I wasn't even thinking about Anora going into the year.
Not at all.
So we'll see what we get. Travis, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to covering it with you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, 2024, you and I, we got our peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
2025, nothing but peaks. I'm calling it. Nothing but peaks.
Nothing but peaks. Nothing but
It's a roller
peaks.
coaster that goes up, brother.
That's right. That roller coaster, folks, might be starting April 4th. April 4th, 2025 at 4:45 p.m. to be exact at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center, because we're back, motherfuckers. We're at Awesome Con. Yeah. Our geeky family feud is returning. It's a little dirty. We got extended time. We already got the big stage. They're giving us a 900-person room, so you need to come out and help us fill this thing. That's nerve-wracking. It could be very Saturday night-like, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. We're going to have a great cast there. Hopefully, this charming, beautiful face here, Travis Byram, will be joining the crew this year to help us out and, try to beat you all as we're trying to give out some money and some prizes at this thing. It's going to be a fun show. Yeah, our extra horny Dracula himself. We're going to try to get him out there to DC for you. So come out and check us out. Of course, follow us at 323 Reid, all social media, including Twitter. And you can check us out there and keep updated on everything. And of course, subscribe to the 323 Network on YouTube to, just keep up with our beautiful faces and everything that we're going to be doing leading up to this. Travis, Byram, extra horny Dracula, thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Glad to be here, man. It was another great season with you.
Oh, man. I can't wait to look forward to more. Folks, stay tuned with us. We will keep you updated, and we will see you next time. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you for watching.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth.